Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 106-92 victory over the Miami Heat, and this was a massive W for the Toronto Raptors. They did win this handedly throughout the course of this game, right? It was a bit close in the first half, but as the game went along, the Toronto Raptors really stuck their foot down. The Heat made a little run at the end there, but despite the lack of shooting, despite some moments, some bunnies may have missed by our team, the Raptors really handled their business tonight, and they needed a big way as the Eastern Conference play-in race, the bottom of the sort of playoff picture for Toronto right now. We are neck and neck with teams like the Atlanta Hawks, the Chicago Bulls, to sort of jockey for position there in that play-in situation. And just ahead of us, right, we have the teams like the Miami Heat and the Brooklyn Nets that it would be tough to catch now at this point. It would be a difficult sort of stretch to make a move up into that situation, and maybe even get out of the play-in, but something that's potentially doable. If we go on a little win streak, the Heat or the Nets go on a little losing streak, but I digress on that point. We're trying to get an upper seed in the play-in because, one, we are a much better home team than we are our away team this season. So if we have a do-or-die game, right, we want it to be on the Raptors' home court. And two, you could potentially have to win one game rather than two games. So nice stuff happening there. And what's happening, Ray? Good to be chatting in here. But, let's dive into this game. And I said it in the thumbnail. I put it in the title. One player that absolutely cooked up tonight. Definitely deserving of a Scottie Barnes award. We haven't been handing them out as consistently this year as we had last year. But the Scottie Barnes award, it's without a doubt going to none other than Scottie Barnes tonight, who had one of his best games of the season, in my opinion. The way he was attacking the rim, the way he was facilitating for other players out there on the court. He had 22 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, 10 of 16 from the field, 0 of 3 from the three-point line, and we'll talk about the shooting because that's a big narrative and storyline coming into this one. But when Scottie Barnes was attacking the rim, just going to the basket, he was dunking on top of people, he was drawing extra defenders, the Heat were sometimes double-teaming him, and he was able to make some gorgeous passes, some gorgeous dimes, right in the middle of the paint, driving, making some split-second decisions, and this is why Scottie Barnes has that potential, right? Center of Stars saying Scottie Barnes is our superstar. What's up, Scooby-Doo? But basically saying, right, give me the ball. Let me facilitate the offense. And Fred VanVleet tonight, you look at the game for him in this one. Sure, 5 of 13 from the field, 12, 6 assists and all that, but he didn't dominate the basketball too much, right? He didn't roll out there. Because he allowed Scottie Barnes to get the game rolling, to get his game rocking, and it was great to see, right? This is the sort of mentality we want to see Scottie Barnes continuing to play with at this point of the year. And who said it? Stephen Wong is saying in the chat that we are peaking at the right time, and this is certainly the right time the Raptors want to put their game together. Obviously, we had that deflating loss last week against the Indiana Pacers, but if you take that out of the equation, obviously, we also lost the Milwaukee Bucks, but that one was a little bit of a tougher game. The Raptors played well throughout. The Bucks are top seed in the Eastern Conference. You can't blame them too much. But we've won 6 of our last 8 games. Beat some solid teams. I know the Miami Heat did not have Jimmy Butler in the game tonight, but aside from Jimmy Butler, they pretty well had everyone else. And the Raptors, without a strong shooting performance, were able to really get their game going, clamp up on defense, and made the Miami Heat just look really, really bad. But, I'm still sort of tangented away from Scottie Barnes there. But gotta show love, throw a W in the chat there for Scottie Barnes because he's the winner of the Scottie Barnes Award tonight, and definitely deservingly so. But another contender for that award, right, certainly could be OG Anunoby in this game, who he had a couple slow games when he came back from that wrist injury, and sure, drops a stinker every now and then in terms of shooting the ball, but he has certainly been, especially with Gary Trent Jr. being in and out of the lineup, our most consistent shooter in the second half of the season, maybe for the entire year, and he's been putting in some buckets tonight, really carried our offense at times in this game when we went through some cold stretches, but OG Anunoby really came out here, 22 points, 5 assists, made some gorgeous passes. Only 5 assists in this one, but I thought made some great decisions with the ball in his hands a little bit extra. But 22 points, 5 assists, knocked down 4 threes, 4 of 9 from the three-point line. As you can see, the exception of Precious Achiuwa is the only other guy that really had a decent shooting night. And again, played remarkable defense. Probably could have done threw him onto onto Tyler Hero a little bit more, cooled him off a little bit. But other than that, OG and Anunoby, this is what we like to see. And that dynamic duo of OG, Scottie Barnes there on the wing, right? People say it can't work. And yes, at times, our tandem of Scottie, OG Anunoby, and Pascal Siakam has gotten a bit clunky at times. But I think when Scottie Barnes does have the basketball in his hands, right, we sort of run the offense through him and then make those swings. Obviously, OG and Pascal Siakam, more so Pascal, can create for themselves in the half court. They don't need Scottie Barnes to create for them on every single possession. But when they get those passes within the flow of the offense, it's not dribble happy, right? You get in the mid-range, Scott, take your 2, 3, 4 dribbles, quick moves, decisive moves, and be able to rock out your game, right? That tandem definitely can work. On nights like this, we see it sort of work like this one tonight, right? OG was strong. I just mentioned Pascal. 26 points, 10 of 20 from the field, 9 boards, 5 assists, 1 block. Just a great game. Great game, which we love to see. Daniel saying, isn't the criteria fluid? Viscosity, oh my goodness. We need a viscous animation. The Stream Deck does not have the milky animation loaded up, but the viscosity, we love to see it. But that's Scooby-Doo's roasting me for my 3rd seed. I changed that 3rd seed take to 3rd in the play-in, but we're gonna exceed those expectations, right? It's this is a great game for us. This is a great game to see our starting guys, our top 3 guys really get rolling, and Fred VanVleet not forcing too many shots, out there at the point guard position. He's not rolling too hard. But one interesting storyline coming from this game as well was, if you look at the starting lineup, Jakob Poeltl only played 23 minutes in this one, was 1 of 5 from the field, 10 rebounds, 2 points. But I thought didn't have a horrible game, had 2 blocks, and I thought could have been used out there at times a little bit more, because there were stretches in the second half where our rebounding was abysmal. There was a bunch of possessions where Bam Adebayo, Gabe Vincent, or I believe it was Vincent, Martin, whoever, were getting in there on the offensive boards, and there was a couple of possessions where it was like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds for the Miami Heat, and they weren't just like put back catch. It was, swing, shot goes up, time to box out, time to put a couple bodies on Bam Adebayo, and they still get the offensive rebound. So I was surprised Jakob Poeltl didn't get that much run, and that's something that does concern me a little bit, how Nick Nurse can kind of pull his minutes a lot. But the beneficiary of less Jakob Poeltl minutes, and he did have a good game tonight, is none other than Precious Achiuwa, and it's been a long time since we brought out the propaganda, because he's been struggling a little bit as of late. But Precious Achiuwa really had a big game tonight. Ethan saying in the chat, Achiuwa and Boucher did give great minutes off the bench, which is essential to see. But Precious, we'll talk about him first. 12 points, 2 assists, 9 rebounds, right, a block, a steal, 5 of 10 from the field. Had a couple ugly misses, a couple of ugly shots, but the ones that hit were great. Knocked down a couple threes as well, which is awesome to see. So, Precious Achiuwa also being engaged on defense. Weirdly enough, right, Precious was struggling out there on the defensive end, which is really his mainstay, the reason he can consistently get minutes on this team, and then the offense can go up and down. But his defense seemed to be back tonight, even though probably got outclassed a little bit in terms of rebounding by guys like Bam Adebayo, players in the front court. But I like to see Precious Achiuwa have a bounce-back game like this. I don't think he should be out of the Raptors' rotation. Now, I just complained about Jakob Poeltl not getting a lot of minutes. I'm happy with this sort of amount of run, right? Precious, how many minutes tonight? 25 minutes for him. Boucher, made 28. If you're in the 20 to 25 minute per range, that's pretty solid, I think, for Precious Achiuwa. Your Poeltl's out there with a lot. I hate seeing Koloko get some DNPs, but, if that's what it takes for Precious Achiuwa to sort of get opportunities and stuff, that's what's going to have to happen. And speaking of the bench, and as Scooby-Doo is putting it in the chat, Jeff Doughton tonight as the backup point guard. You look at the box score and you might say, Ben, are you really going to gas up a guy that had 2 points, 1 of 3 from the field, misses 2 3-point shots? You bet I am. Because Jeff Doughton is deservedly the backup point guard for this team. Plays the best defense out of Delano Banton, Malachi Flynn, Will Barton. Plays the best offense as well, right? Even if he's not getting, 10 points a game off the bench as a point guard, goes in and he just facilitates for people. He doesn't get dribble happy as a backup guard, right? He can create offense for others without having to, blow the air out of the basketball, because he drives the lane, he gives the ball up quick. It's similar comparisons, almost Lonzo Ball, where just making those early passes because he knows who's hot, he knows who's playing well, right? Precious Achiuwa has a big dunk on one possession, right? And Jeff Dowtin sort of has a lane, but he knows, hey, Precious is rolling a little bit now. I'm going to pass it to him. Didn't lead to a Precious score, but I like that type of decision making there for Jeff Dowtin. I don't know, just a true point guard to bring off the bench, and it's kind of what we need, right? We see when Fred VanVleet is out with injury or just isn't in the lineup, or is not on the court out there, but our offense can get a little bit messy, especially in the half court. And Jeff Dowtin's a guy that I'd argue is more of a sort of, obviously Fred VanVleet's the leader of this team, but Jeff Dowtin's more of a natural floor general in terms of getting people the ball in the right places. Fred can get a little bit excited dribbling the basketball and stuff. Fred's certainly the better player right now, but Dowtin's more of that traditional point guard that can still shoot the basketball. Had a really nice steal in this game as well. He's a hustle, energy guy, and a dude that I want to see be the backup point guard if we have these playing games, if we have some playoff games, because even though he's on a two-way and, technically, this is his first real true season in the NBA. He's a bit older, a lot more polished than Flynn and Banton. And Will Barton, certainly win comparisons there. So as Scooby-Doo put it, I think it's 3 games left. I'm not 100% sure, but he's on that two-way contract, which limits the amount of games he's eligible to play for the actual roster, for the main roster. So the Raptors have to make a decision whether or not to cut Wieskamp, cut a Will Barton, cut Malachi Flynn, anyone, right? And give Jeff Dowtin that backup point guard position because we need it. We need him out there. He's proven to be our most reliable guard at that spot. He's a winning player, so we'll see what ends up happening. But I hope he plays well. He gets the opportunity. And speaking of the bench, Boucher, not the most efficient night. Missed a few bunnies, missed a few threes that would have liked to go down. But 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. You can't complain. Played solid defense there. Sort of ran through the entire team at this point. And Fred touched on him. I'm happy with this team. I'm happy with the squad and the performance that we had tonight. And to that that Hawks game, the last I checked, the Hawks were up. Did they end up winning that game? Let me know, because if they lost, then the Toronto Raptors are, we're back to 500 right now. Then the standings can get getting a little bit close there as of right now, because the play-in race is something I'm definitely going to be heated up for. I'm pretty amped up about, but I don't know. Like, chat, what do you guys think? Where do you think we're going to land? Do you think there's any possible chance that the Raptors come out here and get a 6th seed? I'm gonna peek this score. Check out this right here. Got my phone on the side. I should have loaded up a box score of this. I'm going to chat about the Kyle Lowry and the performance for the Miami Heat in this game. But the Hawks win? That's brutal. Stop giving me ads. The NBA app. Yeah, the Atlanta Hawks end up winning this game. 120-118 versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that means the Atlanta Hawks we are tied, unless the standings did not update. But the Raptors and the Atlanta Hawks are currently either tied or the Hawks are still a half game up now on the Toronto Raptors, given the fact that they won tonight as well. Were the Chicago Bulls playing as well? Let me know, chat. Let me get this peep in. They're giving me ads. I don't like to see it. Doesn't seem like the Bulls played tonight. Bulls play tomorrow? No. Bulls are getting days off. They're getting rest nights. They lost the Clippers last night, which is great to see. But that play-in race, that play-in standings is certainly going to be exciting, right? And before I talk about the Heat and get back into this game, folks, for people that were arguing the play-in is a bad idea, is a trash gimmick that the league is trying to implement, this season would be absolutely brutal. This season would have been over for the Toronto Raptors a week after the trade deadline if the play-in wasn't a thing. So shout out to the play-in for keeping the end of the season exciting and all that sort of stuff. But Ray is saying, I'm still nervous watching Jakob Poeltl chuck free throws. Like, this man cannot get fouled during the playoffs. That is true. That is true. That's why I think a lot of our crunch time lineups are going to end up being like the starting lineup we had throughout the course of the year. Where I think Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG, Pascal, and Scottie Barnes. But Jakob will play most of the games, so that's definitely something he needs to work on in the off season. But Mitchell jacked up a contested 3-on-1, 1 point behind. Hate to see it. Hate to see that. But the play-in could certainly save our season, without a doubt. But if we get top 8, we can at least have 2 chances for the playoffs. Exactly. That's why we want to make that push. That's why we really need to rock out. And let's see how the Miami Heat are at. Because the Nets have been struggling. The Nets have, they've lost a few games there, but they're 3-7 in their last 10. Miami's 5-5 in their last 10. Raptors only 2 games back of the Miami Heat, and our schedule is brutal to close out the season. Like it is a really tough schedule we have, especially if the Charlotte Hornets, the 2 wins that they had against some Dallas Mavericks aren't a fluke, right? We play the Celtics twice, the Bucks. Play the Sixers. The Heat was a tough game that we got the win, which is nice, and we play the Hornets twice. So we're gonna need to win some games against some top level competition. But honestly, that's the test the Toronto Raptors need. We need to be able to beat these teams if we want to, hope out there in the playoffs. So, it's nice to see the Raptors starting to play well to close out the year. But Raptors finally first play-in team to win a championship. That's what I'm saying, Scooby-Doo. We're making it happen. We're making all that happen. We're on that road to the playoffs. Road to the chip. It is what it is. I don't like it, but we're in it. Hey, I love the plans. But what's our team gonna do? Look like during the offseason, looking like the Bargnani Primo era, says Ray. I don't know. I'm trusting Masai Ujiri to fix our issues. Fix our issues for the season end. I believe the Celtics ended up getting slapped by some team tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So that's hopefully we can beat them. And Philadelphia is also dealing with some injuries as well. So, these are all winnable games, but the Raptors need to come out and secure the W's. We can't have like deflating losses like we had against Indiana Pacers last week. We need to come out and get some serious W's. And Jay Kelly's putting it the best, right? We hope the Celtics and the Bucks rest some guys, rest their players. But honestly, I could see them trying to get some wins to ensure the Raptors don't get into the play-in tournament, because I'd be much more scared of the Raptors than Atlanta Hawks or Chicago Bulls. I'm also a biased Toronto Raptors fan. But thoughts on the Raptors replacing Nick Nurse rumor. Made a full video on that yesterday. I don't think it's going to happen. If we do plan on moving on from Nick Nurse, if those rumors are true, then, assuming the Ime Udoka stuff isn't as bad as some people were saying, then I think he'd be a cool fit. That's what I want to see. Riker dunking on Embiid. Riker would absolutely poster Joel Embiid 1v1. But I'm ready for someone to body Embiid after the room out half our team. After he took our half last season, yeah. Agreed on that 100%. Ben, who wins the MVP in your opinion? The odds went up for Jokic after Embiid didn't get it. I think Embiid's going to get it. I just think he will. The back-to-back MVPs, voter fatigue and all that sort of stuff, and the push that's been made. Assuming Embiid doesn't sit to all the games to close out the year, I think it's going to be Embiid. But is Jokic still averaging a triple-double? I know he was for a few weeks ago there, for the season. If if Jokic is the first seed, averages a triple-double, considering the roster he has around him as well, which, Jamal Murray's good. Michael Porter Jr., solid player, but not a super team by any means. So, I don't know. I like players that could pass. That's my, that's why I've always been, even though through the LeBronto eras, I was a fan of LeBron. Love me some Jokic. Love me some Luka Doncic dimes. Love me some Scottie Barnes. I just love those players throwing no-look passes, throwing some dimes and stuff. So, that's, I'm biased towards Jokic on that front, but I don't know. Embiid's cool. Even though, again, Raptors have a lot of battles there. Maybe he chills, right, if he wins the MVP. But my English don't make sense on an iPad. That's tough. Typing on an iPad is rough. No problem with that, right? But I'm trolling the Bulls podcast because they're the ultimate Toronto haters. I'm ready to talk the most smack in their lives. Let's go. No, the Bulls. I feel like the Miami Heat are high. We just played them too. I feel like Heat fans really just dislike Toronto. Because especially that 2016 series we had back in the day, which was a bit chippy, the Goran Dragic stuff brought out a lot of stuff in Heat fans. Like, obviously, we have Bucks haters, we have Sixers haters, but those are more from rivalry's sake. Like, the Heat, the Bulls, I guess, a little bit, right? They just hate Toronto fans for no reason, which I don't get. But I remember seeing the kids that made the missing person poster for me. That stuff. The missing Joel Embiid, you love to see it. The free throw merchant Embiid may win, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Who heard about Ben Simmons being done for the season? Oh, we heard about that here on the old Raptors Digest. See the animation still rocking. The young socialite's chilling. He's out there for the season. And honestly, if he gets ever bought out, if he's ever bought out by the Brooklyn Nets or whatever team he ends up on, I'm more willing to bet that Ben Simmons will be a Toronto Raptor at some point than I would be on one of the MVP guys this season. Masai Ujiri will take that risk. Masai Ujiri is our GM. I think at some point Ben Simmons could potentially be on the Raptors. It might be one of my hotter takes. I just think it might happen. But Toronto Raptors fans are everyone's favorite punching bag. That's true. Our Reddit is pretty wild, so it is what it is. The earliest retirement in NBA history. Hey, he gets that. Does Riker ever come back, or did he move on Kawhi style? Hey, Riker's on load management, baby. He's on that load management. But he's already got the bag. He don't need to pick up a ball ever again. Yeah, I don't know. If you can make more millions of dollars playing basketball. I mean, people will make more millions of dollars playing basketball. I could be a trillionaire and someone pay me $1 million to work out every day, free access to gym facilities, even sit on the bench in front of millions of people. I'd be doing it. I'd be giving it a go, especially if I was 6'9" and in theory could play, have some talent. That would be nice. Gas blow. So run them pockets is saying, hey, definitely sucks. Definitely sucks to see the Cavs. I think they want to duck the Raptors in the playoffs. That's my take. That's what they want. It's because we're Canadian. Americans typically don't like anything Canadian related. What's happening? He's already got the bag. Lakers choose when they lose, close when they lose. I'm not sure what's happening there. But Raptors fans are everyone's pay. Oh, okay, that's what we're referring to. Yeah, that's true. But I heard Siakam get offered $100 million, or am I losing it? $100 million for Siakam over how many years, Ray? I'd gladly give Pascal a $100 million contract over 3, 4, 5 year season. Definitely. Only $33 million for Pascal with the cap going up. Sign me up for that. I'd love to see that there. Cavs sold. Yeah, it's a rough game for the Cavs. Svi went off for the Hornets. Been looking pretty solid for them. Could have used him. Yeah, Jay. Svi looked good for us as well when he had a bunch of minutes to play with. Like in preseason moments, the occasional game where we just had a bunch of injuries. Svi looked good for us in those minutes too. And the Hornets are an absolutely depleted team right now. So Svi is getting some minutes. But we need Svi to be sort of a bench guy, not a high volume scorer, not a high volume sort of shot taker and all that. And he just absolutely sold for us in that point. But Bueno Kitty, he's out in the chat. Shout out the GOAT tier, coming in with the super chat saying, made it. Who won the Scottie Barnes Award? And Bueno Kitty, who do you think won the Scottie Barnes Award tonight after that remarkable performance from Scottie Barnes himself? We'll give it out because we haven't been consistently giving the award out this season, so it's been a rough year for the Scottie Barnes Award. But he gets 2 tonight, just so Bueno Kitty gets to see an award there. But love to see him. Shout out Bueno Kitty bouncing in the chat. But so Ben, what's our bench looking like next season? Who you constructing? That's tough. Could we get a T. Ross back in Toronto? We need consistent shooters. I want Jeff Dowtin on the roster consistently. Like, I want him to be a backup point guard. That's something I want to see. Jeff Dowtin should be in this roster. I mean, we have some guys. It's going to be interesting. I think it's tough to see who's going to be on our bench until we know the needs of this team. Because if one of Gary Trent Jr. leaves or Fred VanVleet leaves, then we really need some shooting. If Pirtle leaves, we really need to get a true center out there, a new 7-foot center to replace him, and then move and adjust and all that sort of stuff. But tough to say. But I want Jeff Dowtin back. And another scorching hot take. I'd keep out Otto Porter. It's my take. He's a shooter. He plays defense. He's injured for this entire season, but when healthy, he's good. So I'd keep him around. Been throwing out hot takes left, right, and center. But Svi did not stay in his lane and missed way too many open looks. Definitely agree on that. I don't even have the Svigi water animation still going anymore. But yeah, he was putting back too many Svigis. Couldn't knock down any shots. But 7, 12, and 22. 3 steals. 10 of 16. Hey, pretty good shooting. Scottie Barnes elite. Definitely agree with that, Cody. But Thaddy Daddy is out. Yeah, unfortunately, Daddy's probably gone next season. We'll see what ends up happening though. But I want Jeff on the 7th or 8th off the bench. Couldn't agree more. We need to make sure Jeff's two-way is converted. That's my take. If we don't do that, there's no point in having acquired Jakob Poeltl. There's no point in doing these things we did post-trade deadline, giving up future draft picks, because the best roster we can construct right now, in terms of our team, is having Jeff Dowden in our lineup. And if we don't convert his contract, then it just sucks. But was he good? I don't remember J.O.P. Jr. J.O.P. Jr.? Who's J.O.P. Jr.? But, am I tripping? Is that Jeff Dowden Jr.? L Trickster, got clarifying these acronyms. But if Giddy and Franz are better, playing Scottie will come out and be the best player ever. I'd love to see Scottie be the GOAT. That would be take some LeBron leaps. That would be great to see. But Mobley had a great game tonight. Obviously didn't watch the Cavs game, but Mobley's still good. I feel like Mobley and Scottie are both getting a little bit of hate. Scottie more so because he won the Rookie of the Year. More fans were sort of gassing him up and hyping him up. But Scottie, Mobley, both those guys are going to be great. Scottie especially. It's my take there. We're in the driving seat. He's in the driver's seat. Got the Queensway Automotive, little banner ad popping up too. In the driving seat. I've seen that pop up a few times. People don't know. Queensway Automotive. Partner with a bunch of Toronto sports channels and stuff. So if you're interested in buying a car or anything like that, you can go down below, check the link, and inquire on some used cars, some new cars and stuff. You believe the Raptors in that driving seat. But we have a super chat coming in from Bueno Kitty. Coming in hot with the old supers tonight. Love to see it. But what's the Raptors right now if Otto Porter Jr. played? That is a very interesting what if. Because a big reason we lost a lot of games this season is because our bench was just horrific. And we didn't have a center. So Otto Porter Jr. is healthy, being able to knock down a few more threes over the course of the season. I still think we go through with the Jakob Poeltl trade. I think we could be in that 6th seed right now. I think that definitely adds us a couple more wins, without a doubt. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm putting us at like 6th, 5th. It wouldn't be game changing because we didn't have a center the entire year, but I think Otto Porter Jr. is a nice piece in terms of completing the current Toronto Raptors puzzle. But he won't be back this season. Love Mobley as a center, but what gives Scottie Barnes that edge is they can slide him into more positions. Agreed. Just think Scottie Barnes is more of that ceiling in terms of potential as well, like with the handle, the jump shot, and all that. But we could have drafted Walker Kessler. We didn't trade away that pick for Dragic. Yeah. All love to Thad, but it's not that trade. It looked good at times. It is what it is. Koloko's going to be that man in a few years, so that's what we're hoping for. But we beat any team working as a team. Couldn't agree more there, too, dude. But, we're fast in the ball, especially when Scottie Barnes are on the offense. That's what we play better on that front. But, Ben, if we lose OG in the offseason, I'm done. I'm happy he didn't get traded at the trade deadline. I had my worries. I had my concerns that we might deal him at the deadline. Obviously, all the rumors were indicating that he was likely gone. So, nice to see the Raptors keeping OG around. That's what we want to see. I'm sure he'll be back. Hopefully we extend him. Hopefully all the talk that he's disgruntled and stuff is just smoke and it changes by the end of the year. But Scottie better, yes. Yeah, he's our attacking playmaker, all that sort of stuff. But a lot of games we lost because we could not shoot. Completely agree. Completely agree there, Bueno. And maybe we would. Maybe we would make a little bit of an extra push. Maybe they make another I really like our roster. Like, I know we're inconsistent and all that, but we look good when we have a game like we did tonight. Especially with the acquisition of Jakob Poeltl. I like what this team can do. So, we'll see what ends up happening. But, folks, you guys are the best for making this far in the video, in the live stream. Appreciate you guys, as always, right? Got more games coming. The games are getting exciting, and like more exciting as the season comes along because every single game absolutely matters. So, it's going to be key. See what this team's able to do, to close out this year. So definitely subscribe to the Raptors Digest if you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding the team. You guys are the best for making this far. Ray's asking about the lives. Lives are going to be picking up now, more so to close out the year. I've had a really busy couple weeks with work and stuff. I'm working late, doing some stuff, but Always checking out my games, getting that stuff rolling. And there's been a bunch of snowstorms in Newfoundland too, knocking out my chances to do live. So hopefully they're over with because they suck. But we'll see what ends up happening. You guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.